Okay, welcome you guys to the team call, DreamBuilders team call. Tonight is April 21st, 2016, and I'm so excited for tonight's call. I have my friends Chad and Katie Graues from the Springfield area on, and I can't wait for them to tell you their story, and they're going to share with you tonight how they work the business as a couple, a power couple, and also Chad is going to specifically talk to some of the guys for some tips, because we do have a growing group of men on our team, and I just feel like a little bit inadequate when it comes to helping them with ways to kind of reach out on social media. But first, let me just remind everybody that you still have a week and a day, I believe, to hit Success Club. Our team's doing really well. We've got a lot of points on the board, a lot of coaches hitting Success Club that haven't before, so it's exciting. So keep pushing. You've got plenty of time. A week is a really long time to reach your Success Club goals, so don't forget about that. And let's see. I guess we'll go ahead and just get started. So let me introduce Chad and Katie. Chad and Katie and I met in the Market Council for the Central Illinois region, and I just really love their vibe. I love how you guys work together, first of all. That's just so cool. I love your style. I love how it's all about your family. Like, you're doing this to better your family, and I think that comes through in everything you do. So I've really liked following you. I've pointed a lot of coaches on the team to you guys, hey, follow this couple for this reason, and follow Chad for this reason, and so on and so forth. So they know you guys, they know your names. So Chad is a 3-star diamond in his first business center, and a 2-star qualifying in his second business center. Yay, that's exciting. So then you'll get to open another business center. That's really cool. 2012 elite coach. He's a retired corporate pharmacist, which is huge. Success Club All-Star Legend with 50-plus months of Success Club. That is just amazing. That speaks volumes for his work ethic right there. And then Katie is a 3-star diamond in her first business center, diamond in her second, and she's also a retail pharmacist, retired recently, just the last few months, I think. Success Club All-Star Legend, also with 50-plus months of Success Club. So those are some really amazing stats, and I'm so grateful that you guys are on the team calls. I know they get tired of hearing from me. So I'll let you guys, thank you, unmute and just tell us a little bit about how you got started and your story.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, thanks for inviting us, and glad it worked out to be able to touch base. And it's been fun to watch Katie grow and your team grow and work with her on a market council. But, just when we sat down to kind of go through some of the things that I think there's like 5 or 6 things we'll go through, and then I'll finish the call with just some tips I have for some of the guys, or just to kind of share a little bit about how I approach the business. But as far as our story, how we got involved, and many of you may be local coaches, so maybe you've heard or are familiar with our story. If you're not local, then maybe this is the first time that you're learning about Katie and I. And if so, certainly please reach out to us on Facebook, friend us. We'd like to get to know you as well. But I found Beachbody through the programs, like so many people. I was doing P90X in 2009 with like half of America. It was really popular, felt great. And it came at a time in my life where the business, that is, where I was looking to transition out of a very unfulfilling pharmacist job where I was lacking purpose. I wasn't excited about my work. I was very comfortable being that I earned a good income. I had 5 weeks vacation. I worked at home, and I could have, so many people that would think I was like, why are you wanting to leave that? But ultimately, I didn't feel like I was in control of my situation, because I wasn't my own boss, and they were making cuts in our company. So I didn't really have a high level of comfort, and again, wasn't thrilled with the work I was doing. So thankfully, I found Beachbody and knew I wanted to be a full-time coach right away. That was a decision made right away. And after about a year, I went down to part-time, meaning I went down 1 day a week. So I worked 4 days a week at home as a pharmacist, a clinical analyst, and then 1 day a week I did, it was the day I was off, and I did Beachbody. Of course, I was doing Beachbody in the evenings and in the mornings and on the weekends to make it work. So I knew that I wanted to be full time. And then 6 months later, we made the decision for me to quit my job, take a substantial pay cut, downsize the home, because I knew that this business worked. And it's just a matter of giving it time to work and continuing to do the things that we knew successful coaches did, which is build through Success Club, grow your team, have a vision, things like that. We'll talk about those things. So, and then Kate, like she joined she joined because I didn't talk to her about coaching even until like 5 weeks after I was a coach, and she signed up that day, Valentine's Day. So happy Valentine's Day, babe. You're a coach. And then we went to enroll for our first summit, happening 2.5 months later that day. So, but yeah, she can talk real quickly about how she kind of had her aha moment to know that she was going to be able and wanted to do this full time as well too.
Yeah, thanks, babe. So as Chad said, right from the get-go, this business, when I knew that he was, let me take a step back. First of all, I did know that he had joined the business as a coach, but I didn't really know what that meant for our family, and we hadn't yet had that conversation or communicated with each other what that looked like for us long term. So about, like he said, 5 weeks after he had signed up, we finally took the time to sit down and talk to each other. I would encourage anybody who's signing up as a coach to have that discussion with their spouse right away. But I was on board from the get-go, and I trusted in him. I knew that this was going to be a good thing for us, and I just signed up basically out of support for him when he explained what coaching was and what that meant, and what, how it, once you rank advanced to Emerald, which is one of the first goals you want to have as a new coach, what that meant and how that opened up new earning potential, and it opened up new ways for us to help people. That was an important step, and I wanted to help him get there. So me signing on as a coach in the beginning was just, how can I help you? What can I do to make this a reality and make this thing move forward for you, which meant for us. Never in my mind did I think that I would be working the business. I really thought I was just a support system for him. However, once I signed up to be a coach, I thought, I need to walk the walk. I need to be a product of the product. And so even back then, before being a product of the product was a vital behavior, I knew, okay, I'm going to be a coach. I want people to take me seriously, so I better probably work out, because at that point I didn't work out at all. I had been a member of every gym previously, but I was always that New Year's resolution girl who worked out for, a couple weeks, a couple months at most at the beginning of the year. And then that was it for me. I've never been really a good gym person. So I picked a program. Chad was doing P90X at the time. I was like, there is no way that I can commit to 90 days of a program, right? Because I don't work out. So I picked Slim in 6 at the time, which I picked it because it was a 6-week program. And I thought, this is doable. I can do this for 6 weeks. And for me, I had amazing results in 6 weeks with Slim in 6. And at that point, I really wasn't doing a whole lot with my nutrition. I was drinking Shakeology because we had that in our home because Chad was using it with his P90X program. We were following the P90X guide, but I wasn't doing it. I was just, basically eating whatever Chad was cooking. But I wasn't really following a nutrition program, so to speak. You'll find that if you follow us, he's the cook in our house. So, anyway, I did Slim in 6 for 6 weeks. I had great results, meaning I was leaner, toner, and I had more energy than I had than I can remember having before kids, since prior to kids. And at that time, our kids were 4 and 6. 4 and 6, I think, at that time when we signed up. So I was busy. I was a busy mom. We had 2 kids. I was working. I was exhausted, all the getting the house stuff done, all of those kinds of things that we feel as parents. We were feeling that too at that point when we were taking on these extra, I hate to use the term jobs, but we were treating it like a business from the beginning. We wanted to treat it like a business from the beginning. So I got great results. I had that year, I signed up as a coach in February. That year in December, so just a couple months prior to that, I had opened my Facebook account for the first time. And I was very new to Facebook, was sharing pictures at that time, just got on there to share pictures with friends and family like most people did in the beginning. And I shared a picture of my transformation. And I, again, was very lean and very toned at that point, just from 6 weeks of being consistent with working out every day for 6 weeks and drinking Shakeology. So I posted that and I began to have people ask questions. And once I did that, I got some good responses. I had people asking me, how they could do this too. I started to get them set up with programs of their own. Most of them chose Slim and Six because that's what I was doing. Some of them did not. However, that was a big key turning point for me, because by sharing my story, actually by being a product of the product, by sharing my story, and then by sharing, how that worked and how it could work for other people, basically I saw my income go in a week's time. I saw it go from like $25 to about $300, one paycheck to the next. This is 1 week's salary. And that was an aha moment for me. And I was like, you know what? I can do this too. I can work this business. What if we both do this? What if we think bigger and think of how can this impact our family and how can this impact our finances? So the first thing that I can remember at the point when Chad was, wanting to go down in the hours of his pharmacy job and hopefully eventually quit and retire from that position, we had a big talk in the kitchen at our house, and we basically, we kind of laid it all on the line, and we said, we've got a wonderful life. We've got a great house. We love each other. We're very blessed. Our kids are healthy. All these great things that we had, which appeared or would appear to most people to be kind of, ideal checklist of things that are good and that you strive for. But for us, it wasn't really the perfect scenario, because we were still, we were both working in pharmacy jobs. We were capped at our salaries. The only way for us to earn more income was to work more hours away from our home and our family. And for us, as you've mentioned already, our family is our number one priority. And for us, we didn't know any different before Beachbody, and Beachbody kind of opened our eyes to the opportunity that you can earn income while being present with your family. You can include your family in this business. You can work together, and you really have unlimited potential and unlimited freedoms if you choose to engage in this business. And so that was the conversation that we had. And instead of trading our time for money, we wanted to, make some changes in our life to be able to allow us more freedoms, where we didn't have to work nights, weekends, holidays away from, spending either time away from each other as a couple or from the kids.
And that's, I guess, the first point that we want to go over is just that to do a self-check. Like, what are your circumstances? Like an honest, and it wasn't an argument. Like, it was just listen, this is the reality, babe. Like, we're going to earn a 2% raise for the next 30 years.
So
and that's, or we're going to trade our weekends. So we had an honest assessment. Is what we're doing going to get to us to where we want to be? And the honest answer was no. It wasn't. We went through, we cut things out of our spending, but there's only so much of that you can do to save. So it was a matter of, again, taking jobs at hospitals, trading our weekends and our evenings and our holidays. And that wasn't something that for the long term, we weren't happy doing it in the short term. We certainly didn't want to do it in the long term. And there's only 168 hours in the week. There's only so many weekends and holidays in the month and the year. So that was one of the first things we did, a self-check of our circumstances and just be honest. You have to owe it to yourself. That was the first one.
Yes. So
I guess I'll talk about the next one. Again, there's 6 different things. The first one was to kind of do an honest self-assessment or self-check. And you might not like the answers to your self-assessment. But you have to be honest. But the second thing is we began to see all the things that we could do together. So if we knew we wanted to prioritize our relationship, if we knew that we wanted to prioritize time with our kids, then we had to think of all the things you can do together. And as you've been a part of the coach community, and many people, maybe if you're on the call, if you're watching the recording and you've been a seasoned coach or a veteran coach, you know that you have the opportunity to grow together. Self-development makes us both better parents. It helps our relationship. It helps us within all of our interactions. So we can grow together. That's something that wasn't a part of our life before Beachbody, but it was after we learned the coach network. So that's one thing we could do together. We can grow together. We can learn. We can go to seminars together and things like that, and have discussions on an airplane by yourself without, trying to manage a couple kids, and trying to make sure everybody's happy, which leads to another point. We could travel together, and we have going to leadership conferences, driving to Summit, flying to Vegas, going to Super Saturdays together, going to events together, having lunch together at those events, and talking about our vision and what we want to accomplish, which leads into the third thing we can do together, and that's dream together. Talk about how we want things to be and act on how we want things to be at the same time. So doing dreaming together, getting healthy together. Clearly, we're clearly much more focused on being healthy and being fit and making nutritious choices, and we do our ice cream and our froyo and our pizza, and I like beer and all that stuff. But by and large, like, we're more focused together through this business. So that's another thing that we could do together.
And as role models for the kids.
Yeah.
That's so hugely important as parents, because they are watching and they're doing what you do.
Yeah. So, and then lastly is creating a legacy together. So I know in watching videos and in watching top coaches and in really analyzing this business and knowing how it works, like, I mean, if you do, like, this is an amazing thing. And having the support and working with your spouse or having them involved is a way to maximize that at the same time. So I clearly, right off the bat, like, it makes complete sense for Katie to be a coach. Here's why, here's how it works. So that's the other thing. So that's 5 things. Those are the 5 ways that we could grow together. So the first thing, again, was to do a self-check. Number 2 is think of the things, have a discussion with your spouse, partner, significant other, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, whoever that person is in your life is, and think of the things you can do together because of coaching. All right, so the next one is about, in case you can do this one, it's about communication.
Yeah, and communication is huge. As you know, if you're currently in a relationship, you just have to be on the same page with each other. And we've made it a point to set aside time. I encourage that you guys set aside time, whether that's at some point every day. Recently we've had to re-engage in doing that after the kids left for school. We have that option available to us, but if that time doesn't work for you, definitely pick a time, maybe right before bed or another time, at least once a week, to kind of connect and communicate with your spouse on what's going on for the week. Still re-engage with your vision that you have together and why it's important for you. Even if your spouse is not working this business, it's important that your spouse, your partner, is on the same page and they understand why you are so passionate about this business and what this means for your family as a whole, and why it's so important that you coordinate, or that your spouse knows when you need to have business hours so that you can be on team calls, or if you need to do a one-on-one call with a coach to get them started right. You need to have that conversation with your spouse or your partner to have them know, number one, if you're both working the business, that you both don't schedule things at the same time, if there are kids and other things that need to be taken care of in your home. So for us, we share a Google Calendar, and we both put things
that's a must
on the calendar. So right away, we have that on all of our devices. Our computers, we share the same calendar. He knows what I'm doing at all times. I know what he's doing at all times. I can see when he has calls scheduled. So if that means it's a time when it's our family time and our kids are home, and let me take that back, we absolutely schedule family time separate from business time, but we want to make sure, if we do have a call in the evening, such as tonight, that, just we're on the same page about it. Typically, we are not usually on the same call at the same time, just to honor our family priorities as well. So we want to make sure that you communicate with your spouse or partner and you guys are on the same page about those things. And if your partner's not working the business, that they are there supporting you and understanding that, if you've got a call, they need to take care of the cleaning up from dinner or help get the kids ready for bed or whatever that is, take the dog for a walk. So, really, really important. The next thing that I want to talk about is taking time away from the business. Very, very important that you spend time, again, connecting with each other on that personal level. That's one thing that we really have to make a point of doing, is you want to still date each other. And we love the opportunity that this business has given us to take day dates. We love day dates. It's free babysitting. The kids are at school. That's a perk. We don't have to worry about making it past 9 o'clock at night, because we can just go to the afternoon show or grab lunch or, all of those kinds of things. And it gives us that chance to connect and communicate with each other, not just talking about business, but just about, just holding hands and just really, just remembering, just our intimate connection with each other. So that's really important. And you want to make sure that you have time to do that with your kids too. We really do try to focus on even those little moments of time, like whether we're taking the kids to school or picking them up from the bus stop, or that you want to try to spend one-on-one time with them, whether it's, if you have a son or daughter that has a practice, and you just take advantage of those moments in that time and schedule specific moments with children one-on-one to connect with them as well.
Yeah. That's super important. We did Shalene Smart Success live the first time it was offered. We flew to California. We went to it. Can't say enough about it. She talks a lot about policy. So like one of our policies related to the calendar is like I do not take calls from basically 3 to 8 o'clock. I don't do any one-to-one calls. Like I just don't. Monday nights I do. I'm available after that time. But so that's, having policies. But yeah, a great book is Seven Habits or however many habits of highly effective families by Covey. Really good. So yeah, super important. One of the things and I think the last point is related to like doing a role assessment. And what I mean by that is there's things that Kate knocks out of the park that I struggle with. And there's things that I do better that she doesn't like to do or struggles with. That's just how it is. It's kind of like around the house, like everybody kind of has their things. Like so in the business, I'm sure it's the same way, and it's probably the same way on your team. I'm sure there's people that are on your team or on the call that have roles. Maybe they're amazing at graphics and PicMonkey. Like she's getting to be like awesome at PicMonkey, and I kind of suck at PicMonkey. So I'm like, hey, can you make this, can you do this? And then like for a lot of the team trainings, like I'll do a lot of the team trainings. I do like most of the finances, like, 110% of the finance. So, she, as far as the roles that we play with our business, we both work our businesses independently. Like we both hit Success Club on our own. Over the course of when we both hit it like 50 months consecutively, there was probably 3 times maybe when like we're at the last day of the month and we would work together to make sure we both hit it, but very, very, very rare over the course of 5 years. We both own hitting Success Club. And that is a fundamental thing. Like I'm the Success Club preacher. Like it just needs to happen. Like if you're minimally doing your business and doing something every day consistently, you will hit Success Club. And if you're not, you won't. It's pretty much how it works. So just know the roles. If in your partnership with your spouse, know if there's certain things that you are stronger at than your partner. And like she is awesome. Like she brings in more customers to our challenge groups than I do. So like she brings, and I spend more time on training, or I might do some more one-to-one calls. So we kind of split those things up. So those are the points, I guess, that I wanted to go over, and we can have some time for Q&A or ask some questions. But again, it was like, do a self-check of your current circumstances. And if there's things that you want to change, then go after it. You deserve it. Because this is a great solution to do it. 2 is think of all the things you can do together with this business. And it extends far beyond building a business. It's about building a relationship. 3, do a role assessment, like I just kind of talked about. Number 4, communicate and take time away from the business. And I think that was it, I guess. But are there any questions about any of that before I kind of talk about my dudeness with being a coach and how that works?
Do you guys run your challenge groups together?
Yep, that's what I forgot. So yes, we most of the time, especially now, and like we love the mobile app, the new mobile app. We like it kind of depends, but typically we run coach camps together. But if there's something where we have like 10 challengers and there's half guys and half gals, we might split them up. Sometimes she will do her own group. Sometimes I'll do my own group. But typically we are doing more together.
More lately, we've been doing them together. Just because it's easier. So
yeah, I can see that. It's nice to have the numbers too.
Yeah. So it's like you have like 2 people, and I'm like, well, good, I have 2 people. Let's have 4.
Yeah. And here's the benefit too in working with your partner, that it's really cool to be able to have, for my to be able to invite men and women into my groups. And you said we're struggling with this. It's really cool for me to be able to open that up and have him be an active participant in the groups. So that way, if other couples want to do something together and be a part of the challenge group, or if I have guy friends that want to do it, or he has female friends that want to do it, participate in the challenge group, but it's a little awkward. Like, I don't know if I want to be posting my pictures. You're a guy, and I'm sure he'll talk about this in a minute. it makes it a little bit more comfortable if, okay, I'm his wife and I'm in the group and it's totally cool. And he's my husband. Not to say that that wasn't okay when he was doing challenge groups on his own. It's totally fine because we have that communication open and we know we're, everybody's on the same page and we're all doing things for the right reasons. But it is kind of cool to have the challenge groups together and have that both the male perspective and the female perspective leading the group.
It gives you a lot of versatility in your marketing. You can market it however you want and you have a lot of options. So I can see that that's a huge benefit. Do any of you have any other questions? I muted some of you, so if you want to talk, just wave or use the chat or try to unmute yourself. Anybody? Okay. Well, they might think of some. That was really helpful. I really just think it's so cool watching you guys work this business together. I mean, what a dream job. What a dream job. They just took, I saw them on the Success Club trip. They brought their kids and they were able to do that trip for free with their family. It's just amazing.
Yeah, and that's been a really important thing for us, again, because family's number one for us. And, we always talk about, I feel like every time those trips come around, we're always like, do we want to take the kids? Do we not want to take the kids? And that's a popular question among people on our team. Are you taking your kids? Are you doing this? But for us, I cannot imagine experiencing something so amazing and not having them experience that with us, if that makes sense.
Yeah, just because they've done.
This is their business too. I mean, they make sacrifices just like we do. And I get emotional because it's that amazing. This business is that amazing. And it's so cool to be able to take your kids and have them experience these kind of things. And like you said, mostly for free. So, I mean.
Well, thank you. That was super helpful. And if you guys have questions, like I said, use the chat or we can open it up to questions again at the end. So Chad, do you want to talk about some ways that you effectively are a coach as a male?
Yeah. This might be incredibly a huge buzzkill, maybe not an answer that people are like, oh, that was amazing. But the truth is I don't intentionally, just because I'm a guy, I don't think that I have to reach out to guys. In fact, I probably reach out to more women. So dudes, if you're on the call, you need to just cowboy up and create a relationship with and friend people that reconnect with people that you knew from high school, from grade school, from college, from your last jobs. And I friend them, and again, maybe some people are their relationship, I don't know, I know we're all good, so I friend people, and then I form them and I ask how things are going, and then they see me on social media. And I mean, I think 80 or 90% of my coaches are women, of my personally sponsored coaches. So I guess my only tip would be, just because you're a guy doesn't mean you don't have to only reach out to guys. In fact, I used to, when I first was a coach and I got on Instagram, I'm like, well, I'm going to look for all these super buff dudes that are killing it in the weight room. But I'm and then I'm like, I don't connect with them. I don't, I'm not a super buff guy. I have a runner body. I don't connect with them. So, but there are some people who do. So they reach out to them. So I would say just identify, if there are guys you connect with, go for it. But don't think that you can't reach out to women because there are people that that you can connect with, and these people don't have a coach. They want to make changes, but they don't have someone inviting them. And you can be the one to invite them and show your vision, your belief in them. It doesn't matter what their sex is, if they're male or female. So that's what I would say. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but I just approach I think anybody that wants to lose weight or get healthy, I want to help them. I don't care if they're 55, 65. I don't care if they're 20. I don't care if they want to lose 5 pounds or 200. We have solutions to help anybody that wants to get fit or be a part of something awesome on our team, as a whole of Team Beachbody. There's no, it's for everybody. So I don't know if there's questions.
There's no secret sauce, basically, is what he's saying. He
Yeah.
doesn't market any differently as far as himself on social media or private messaging.
It's kind of like the way to be successful as a coach is to read a book, exercise your body, drink your shake, invite people, and recognize people. Like that's how it is, you know? So, and I hopefully, I know that I've been in Katie's shoes. Like I know that I will have guest hosts on my call and people are like, that was an amazing message. And they're like, I'm like, dude, I've been saying that for 5 years, but sometimes it helps us to hear from somebody else. So just to kind of reaffirm.
Danny, I saw your hand. I unmuted you.
So Chad, how do you come up with some of the? I feel like my wife can come up with a post and throw it on Facebook and just rock it. How do you come up with some of your ideas for posts? Because I don't. The only thing I'm good at is work. I don't follow sports. I don't really have that niche. I think I might need to become a baseball fan or something to come up with something to talk about.
Well, there's got to be, a hobby that you have that maybe you're undervaluing or you think that people don't have interest in. I would be okay with sharing, just share that. But as far as I think a lot of the posts that I have where I get a lot of engagement tend to be when I open up and am vulnerable or it relates to the mindset that I have about something that I'm reading. So I think my self-development majorly fuels my posts, majorly. So I would just see how much you're reading or what you're listening to. And if you can pull something, if something speaks to you when you're doing your self-development for that day, like write a note, or like I actually oftentimes I keep my phone next to where I'm reading in our living room, and I'll write a little note and I'll go back and either journal on it or think about it, and then I'll post it. So I don't want to stop reading and, put a post out, but I will write it down, and then I'll get to my desk and I put on my to-do list to write a post for. So that's what I would recommend is one, just really, maybe you're not sharing a hobby or something that interests you because you don't think other people may be as interested in it. But share it, because I know sometimes I put posts about, I love sports. So I put posts about golf or the Masters or whatever. And then I'll have people commenting on it. And they haven't commented on anything throughout the whole year, but they're interested in golf. So they comment on it. So then it kind of is a way to re-engage people. So that's what I would recommend is one, share your hobbies, more willingly share your vision, share your vision. That's what I think inspires people. And that vision is typically related to how much you're reading or listening to with your self-development.
That makes sense. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's great advice for any coach, not just the males, but for people, there are always coaches that say, I just don't know what to talk about. I don't have anything interesting to say. That's so brilliant to send them back to their personal development and pull something out of that, because it's really sharing a part of their heart, and what they're thinking about at the moment. But it's also inspiring, and it's great. I mean, that's so easy to do. Anybody can do that. I love that. Hi, Ryan. I see you there. Does anybody have any other questions, either for Chad or for both of them working the business as a power couple? Ryan, do you have a question? Okay. Anybody else? These people that I muted on the phone, I probably shouldn't mute. Jameson, I just unmuted you just in case you had a question.
No, I'm just listening.
Okay. All right. Well, you guys, I think that was really helpful. And it's so cool, I don't know, all of the great things that you guys are doing. I think sometimes as coaches, we hear all these stats, your stats were like a huge paragraph in my messenger. And we hear all these stats and it's like, oh my gosh, they're they're on a pedestal and they're these people that are, so far away from us. But the truth is, you're just like us, and you live near us, those of you in Illinois, and you are just doing the things that we're taught to do. And you've been doing it consistently for, 5 years or so?
About six and almost a half.
Okay.
So that's, we've had more time. So
yeah. And you've done those things consistently, and you have created your dream life. and your dream lives, and doing it together. I mean, I just think it's super inspiring. And this is available to all of us, you guys, if you want it. And if you don't, that's okay. If you just want to work the business part-time and have a little extra money, or just for a little extra accountability, we know that's available too. But if you want this to be your lifestyle, it is available to us. You know, there's really not a secret. And, you know, at one time I went to a coach training, and it was called The Secret Sauce. And the coach presenting it really did try to kind of sell you on the fact that this is the secret. And I have hated that ever since, because I truly believe there is no secret. Like, there is no secret.
What was the secret? Like,
Yeah.
what was the, I'm curious.
Well, I mean, I think it was just like during the day of the training, it was like, I don't know, different tips, but like there is no secret, you know? There wasn't like one thing, but it was like, if you do this and this and this and this, and essentially she was probably just saying the vital behaviors in a fancy way,
Yeah.
you know? But I thank you so much for giving up your night for this, and I owe you guys, so let me know if I can help you out.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I
thank you.
have a quick question. I'm sorry, Katie.
Yeah. No, do
I was late. I know my kids
No,
are still
it's my
screaming.
fault. I posted 2 different times of the call.
No, it's my kids' fault. They're still screaming.
Okay.
But it's okay. They're in cribs, so we're good. And I might have missed this, but did you guys start your business together? Like, did you both start coaching at the same time, or what? Can you just cover that briefly? I'm sorry if you've already said it.
So here's what happened. So basically, I'm going to give you the do not be us part of the call as well. All right? Actually, do not be me. Like, she's great. All right. So here's what I did. So I watched the Decide video October 26th, 2009. Like, in that day, Decide video is like one of the third-party tools that was very popular for a long time. Okay. So I watched it then. I rewatched it right afterwards. I'm like, I'm going to be a full-time coach. And for 3 months, I sat there and tried to learn everything about the business. I tried to figure out what my game plan was going to be. I tried to figure out what this website I was going to build was going to look like before I even signed up. So then I signed up January 4th, 2010. Didn't talk to Katie about it for 5.5 weeks. She knew I was a coach, but we hadn't talked about it because I was still like trying to learn everything before I even did anything. Don't do that. That's bad. That's not good. Okay. So then she enrolled on February 14th of 2010. But really, I hadn't started working the business. I was a coach in name only. I was using the products.
He was still trying to learn and figure out, like you said, a game plan.
I was trying to figure out the secret.
Yeah,
and the
it's
shortcut.
the secret sauce, and how we were going to be different from all the other, from other coaches. And the difference is that we are different people than you, and you guys have different strengths than we do, and people are attracted to us all for different reasons. So instead of just being ourselves, we were trying to figure out, okay, how are we going to create what brand are we going to be, and what's our name of our, business going to be, and all these different things that we're taking time away from getting started. And the secret is just to get started.
Yeah.
That's really important.
Yeah. So then, but we signed up for Summit that day, which was then the end of April, when Summit used to be the end of April. We went 2 months later, and really probably after that was when I finally really did start. I finally am like, okay, well, this self-development does mean something. I saw all these people at Summit talking about it, so I would say we pretty much started the same time, but we had our enrollment date and our start date. And the start date was about 5 months after we enrolled.
Okay. Thanks.
Yep. Good question.
Anybody else? Any other questions? Okay. Well, thank you guys so much again for taking time out of your night and jumping on this call for us. It was really helpful.
Thanks for having us.
You're very welcome.
See y'all.
Thanks for being on.
Go Blues. I don't know, there's probably Blackhawks fans over
No.
No, we're too close to Chicago.
Yeah. All right.
All right, guys. Have a good night. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.